Tim Briggs here, and today myself and the Briggs boys and the Briggs wife are at Weaver Farm DGC in Boone, North Carolina. This is a private course. The owner was kind enough to let us come out on spring break and play around. Here we are on hole 1, and you can see some of the Briggs boys chucking it up here. Most of these holes you're going to see today are par 3s. Distances are a little misleading because of the elevation. It's kind of hard to tell really how far you need to throw these shots, but I think this was like a 240 uphill, probably played like 300 kind of a shot. And you can see here no one was able to sink a putt, but we had some fun. Hole 2, this hole is straight down. It's like 150, 140, but you're throwing straight down a mountain. And then once you get down there, as you can see, it is the epitome of a death putt. Very, very difficult to putt on this green. And as you can see, you'll get some rollaways. You get some rollaways on the mountains. That's just part of disc golf. Hole 3, this is a tight line.
Nice, Grady.
And Grady here, my middle son, put one up there great. He was snapping the disc really well today. You can see Cooper here not putting very well. On to hole 4. Watch Kaysen here, my youngest. He just pierces this gap, just scoots by the tree, flexes it down there in the middle of the fairway. I throw a pretty good shot up there to give me a putt for birdie, which I missed. But Kaysen here, he gets up and down from this position. He makes his putt. Good form. Good form. On to the next hole here.
Yeah, Grady.
It's kind of up by, or I guess down by this tree here. It's hard to see the basket. Cooper decided to do a kind of a sky hyzer line I thought would never work, and he pretty much parked it. And you can see here, barely makes this putt. It was a good putt, and it hung on. So he got a birdie on that one. On to this next hole here. This basket, I believe, is hanging down from the tree. It's kind of hard to see from the tee, but it's up there by that tree. And you can see a couple of us, all of us, put it fairly close. A couple of us had some birdie looks here, some good runs from the Briggs boys.
Don't leave it short.
But nothing that could go in until Papa Briggs here had to show him how to do it, and I was able to do it. This hole's throwing uphill, probably plays about 280, 290, 300, and I was able to put one pretty close here, and I believe I made that birdie putt. You can see some other shots from the crew on this hole. Some good runs, some good putts, good make there by Grady. This one's a really tight line, probably played like 250, 260. Hard to see the basket down there, but it's kind of below your feet. You got to hit a really tight gap, a lot of trees, low ceiling kind of shot. You can kind of see where this basket's at here. And the Briggs boys putting. I had a very poor effort there on my putt. Player B, always better than player A. This one's like a 320, 330 kind of shot. The basket's kind of on the fence line, a ways down there. There's a lot of wind out here today. The Briggs boys put some good drives out there. Cooper, my oldest, was convinced that he could do a turnover make-out shot and throw it 330. I told him that would be a great layup shot, which it was. It went about 260. Put him in good position, but he felt proud of the shot. This shot, down by the water, Cooper, rightly so, turns it over and plays a nice safe shot. I try to throw something that would give it a run, and you just forget how much gravity is on a shot like this when the basket and the ground is so low below your feet. And you can see I lost my octane, and I'll never get that disc back. This is a fun hole. Back over the water, probably plays about 310 or so. I don't know, 300. I was able to tombstone this shot, missed my birdie, but that's a cool green up there. And hey, there's some ducks. This is kind of a made-up hole toward the end, I think, or maybe it's a real hole. I think it's a real hole. We kind of got confused on the layout here, and we didn't play some of the longer holes over the water just because we didn't want to lose discs. I mean, not that I would lose any, but for the Briggs boys. But we did play this hole. I think this would have been 15 or 16. Kind of a fun shot. You're up above, throwing down below. Again, really hard to judge how far you need to throw a disc and what angle. When you're not used to playing mountain disc golf, you're not used to throwing shots quite like this. But we threw some out there and put some within putting range. So that was a fun hole for us to end on. This was a fun course. It's a pay-to-play course, a homemade course, lots of elevation change, water holes out here in this open field, and ducks. What more could you want?